Yeah, hey YouTube, I just wanted to comment. I've been seeing a lot of videos on this race war because of the Trayvon Zimmerman case. Um, I felt the need to comment on this. You got radicals, primarily what I perceive the blacks, a lot of black people calling for race war, and this new Black Panther Party. I mean, I don't know, radical is all I can say. It's I try to see I try to look into issues, rather than just indulging in all the bullshit. I like to look at the issues. I watched a couple videos by a guy that in a suit. I believe he's a leader of some sort within the new Black Panther Party, and the thing about it is, I've been in war. Okay, something that's very important about approaching a war situation is understanding what you're fighting for. But even more important is understanding what your enemy's fighting for. Okay, and I gotta say, this new Black Panther Party, I think their ideas, their anger, and their grievances are misplaced. I just from a logical perspective, that doesn't change the fact that they're outright, openly making a threat, and I take it personally because I am a Caucasian. I mean, look at me, I'm about as white as they get. And for no other reason than the color of my skin, I could be targeted by one of their followers, or someone that is buying into their whatever it is, their bullshit, what they're preaching. Still, I like to understand the cause. If I have an enemy, I want to know what it is that they're looking for. Okay. I think there's two fronts on this war that they are proposing, that they really need to consider. One front is the Caucasian. That's their target. Okay. The other is a combination of all law-abiding citizens. Okay. But we'll talk about the Caucasian. Do you realize what you're saying when it comes to capability? Okay. Have you studied history at all? I mean, have you ever actually looked at or studied armed conflict? Okay. The more disciplined your army, the better it's going to perform. The more organized it is, the more well trained it is, the better it's going to perform. It will execute and accomplish the mission, and it will have clearly defined missions. Because without a clearly defined mission, there's no way of evaluating your success or failure. Okay. This army that you propose to build you don't have the resources to organize it. You don't have the resources to train it, and you damn sure ain't got the resources to discipline it. Okay. As a Caucasian, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at your videos, and I'm looking at what you're doing. I see a few small people, groups of people that are militant in that they are carrying themselves with a proper bearing, suggesting a strength. Okay, so your uniformed Black Panther Party members that are dressed in black, they're wearing boots and all this good shit. Yeah, all right, okay. If I was walking down the street, I'd notice that. Oh, I'd notice it real fast. especially when you're walking on my American flag, and oh yeah, I'm gonna notice that. Um, you're definitely standing out in the crowd. Um, I can tell you that I have taken notice, and the nice thing is I can identify you now. I know who you are. Okay, you wanted the attention, well, you got it. Still, I think, you know, if you've never been in a war, if you've never seen war, if you've never seen combat, you will never truly understand just how important it is to have a cause that's worth dying for. Because when you commit to battle, when you engage your enemy, you must be prepared to die. And you must be prepared to die first. Okay? Regardless of rank in your structure, whatever, you got to be willing to go all the way. Because you better assume that your enemy will. Okay? Caucasians, you know, when you look at people, okay, or countries, how do you determine the strength of a country? The strength of a country is defined by the strength of its people, regardless if it's a diverse population like we have here in the United States, or, you know, if it's like some of these other countries where everybody's the same color and it's not a very diverse, you know, and they all have the same background, whatnot. Doesn't matter. The strength of its people define the strength of the country. And not all forms of strength are physical. It could be spiritual. It could be education. Okay. I don't think I'm far off the mark when I suggest that your nation, as you call it, which would be the black community in America, is not very strong. If you look at your education, okay, if you look at your discipline among your people, you look at the camaraderie of your people, you look at the way blacks get along. I mean, shit, you guys are killing each other faster than any race war could. if you're gonna commit war with me, you need to stop shooting each other first. I mean, if you can get that one down, you might have some fucking hope. Okay. You know, and I'm not in the middle of that shit. You guys are killing each other over drugs, over women, over stupid shit. I mean, and you think I'm your enemy? All right, fine. Regardless of cause. Your nation is weak. And it's weak because of you. It's weak because of your own people. Okay? There's nothing I've done. There's nothing the government has done to weaken you. I mean, we have welfare. We've got housing assistance. We've got public education. I mean, these things are free. They're not costing you nothing unless you're paying taxes. Okay? And in spite of that, you know, you have a lot of people are living basically for free, and they still can't fucking get their shit together. And then you got others that, you know, work their asses off, and they're paying into the system, and they're still doing well. You know, there's your difference between your strong and your weak. Let's talk about a military capability. I mean, you want to use words like war. Well, let's talk about military. What you're suggesting is guerrilla warfare. Okay. I can tell you right now that if your military training is based on what you see in video games, what you've seen in movies, oh no. You know, we just left Iraq. President Obama pulled the last of the troops out. Okay. Our enemy, okay, They were taking us out with improvised weapons, not manufactured weapons. Not, you know, they didn't go to a store and just buy this shit. They're hitting us with homemade shit. I mean, they're getting ideas, they're getting clever, putting this shit together, and they're killing our troops. Regardless of the armor we would equip our troops with and all our high-tech weaponry, they're still killing us. And now that we're out there, they're still killing each other. Okay? The most awesome force in the world, the most deadly opponent that one could ever conceive, is a civilian guerrilla force. Okay? When you talk about committing war against white America, I mean, have you any idea? I mean, really what you're up against? We don't need to go to the store and buy guns. Okay? How many chemists do we got out there? They can just put shit together out of whatever they find under their kitchen sink. I mean, really? You know, you want to talk about military capability. You want to talk about plotting. Okay? I mean, you need educated people. Okay? You need educated people to plot your fire plans. Okay? To develop your tactics and actually execute the mission. You need people with discipline. Okay? You got people spun out on drugs or people that are just loose cannons. I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to accomplish? You know, you have no command and control over your own people. And you won't. Okay? If people can't control themselves, which is, I think, the black community you're trying to appeal to, then how are you going to control them? How will you manipulate them into doing your bidding? How can you command them in a field of battle? You can't. Okay? So your army that you are trying to put together has absolutely zero discipline. Yeah, maybe the people that are dressed in black, wearing boots, they show a little bit of discipline. It was interesting, in one video I saw more women than I saw men. I mean, where's your men at? You know? They're probably at work. They probably couldn't give a shit. Or, yeah, some of them are locked up. You know? Maybe some of them are smoking dope, don't give a shit. I mean, you know, whatever. But the thing is, I noticed on your Black Panther uniformed troops, they're all broads, man. I mean, yeah, or young kids. I mean, you know, wow. Your army ain't looking too great, buddy. You need to consider, okay, the capability of your adversary. The Caucasians, we got too much to lose. That's why you don't see mass lynchings going on. That's why you don't see us flying off the handle, just fucking obliterating neighborhoods. We got too much to lose, man. That's why you haven't seen it. When the point comes, if it comes, if you're able to push it that far, if you truly want a race war, you have to deny us, as a Caucasian people, a reason not to fight. Because only at that point will the gloves truly come off, and then I can promise you, okay, an educated opponent is going to cut the head off the snake first. Okay? That's how it's done. You cut the head off the snake, and you're the head on the snake.